Warning! This program contains strong adult language, violence, and brief nudity. It's everything you're looking for. Live from the Sims Tower in the Robinson Auto Group studio, we are AM 1600 WKKX.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Whispers Radio here on AM 1600 WKKX, the Valley's Watchdog, and UPRN, the UFO Paranormal Radio Network. It is 6:09 p.m., 76 degrees here in downtown Wheeling. It was really hot today, Lola.
Oh, it was nice today.
Nice nothing.
Nice.
I laid out.
I am too furry for this weather.
You need to be living in Alaska.
Right? Maine sounds good this time of year.
And yet we're moving to the beach.
Yeah, but there's water. You know? I'd be like, this is a day where I'd walk outside and go, yeah, beach day.
Yeah.
Not a hey, let's go sit outside and enjoy the sun.
Every day is a beach day. If I am down by the beach, it doesn't matter. Rain, sleet, snow.
Oh, last time we were down there, it was like the
sun.
beginning of March. We're like, it's good. Let's go to the beach.
Oh, I know. In January when we were in New Orleans, it was like, yep, we're going to the beach. And that's exactly where we went. I know it.
That's the time to go. Give us a call, 304-214-1600 if you're out of the area, 1-866-514-1600. I'm Jordan Cline. She's Sarah Cline.
Hello.
And the lovely Lola Miller.
Hello, everybody.
I'm like counting down the days.
Yeah.
I won't get to say that forever.
No, I know.
Makes me tear up a little bit. It was good seeing you yesterday, though. I like seeing you.
Yes, I had a very good time. Thank you so much
You're
for inviting me.
very welcome. I'm glad you came.
It's nice. Good food.
It was fun. Lots of candy.
Yeah, for you too. It made my glands hurt watching you guys. They had to stuff sour strips in their mouths.
It was like ribbon candy, but it was
it's
like
sour.
covered in sour stuff.
Oh, see, it's making mine hurt just thinking about
And when you
it.
just because every time we got a question wrong, we had to shove like all this candy in our mouth, and by the time it was done, it was like my jaws hurt and my teeth were
I
stained.
know.
Like I could feel my teeth rotting out. It hurt. Whose ever idea that was.
That was your
Bad.
sister.
Yeah,
Bad.
your sisters.
All right, we're going to go to our guest. We got on a paranormal group, the Society of Unknown Phenomena, SOUP, which is fun. Craig, Tom, and Matt. You guys with us?
Yeah.
All three of you?
I definitely am. Yeah, we're here.
All right, give me a reference of voices. Who's Craig?
This is Craig right here.
Craig Smith? Tom Smith?
Todd.
Todd. Oh, I'm sorry. I wrote that down wrong. And Matt Jackson?
Hey, this is him.
Alrighty. So tell us about SOUP. How'd you get that name?
Actually, this is Craig. One of the founders of the group, there's four of us.
Uh-huh.
And Nick, he isn't able to be on, but really wanted to be on. So that sadly, we want to all say hi to Nick.
Hi, Nick.
But, Nick, excuse me. But yeah, the thing with it is after we, trying to come up with a name or whatever, I guess, and after many different dirty incarnations of acronyms and things, you can always, there's 900 of those before you ever get to a name.
Yeah.
So we finally came up with, something. As soon as Nick said it, we all had our own little thing we came with, and as soon as Nick said that, everybody just said, forget my vote. It just sounded good, so we went with that.
I think it was decided on at a bar, to be specific, wasn't it?
Yeah, probably a bad idea. Exactly.
Well, it could have got a lot worse.
Big time. Real quick.
That's actually how we got, using the acronyms, that's actually how we got the name for this radio show.
Really?
Yeah, Nick, who used to do the show with me, our group was called the Wheeling Society of Paranormal Research, RSPR, Whisper. So when we got the opportunity to do the show, it was Whispers.
Very good.
Good idea.
All right. I didn't think of it.
Whispers trivia there for us.
Yeah.
Put that on the Wikipedia. Okay, let's see. Where are you guys from?
Well, yeah, I was going to say there's pretty much two places that cities are a half hour apart. This is Craig, like I say again. Me and Todd are brothers, and we grew up on the south side of Indianapolis with Nick. And then Matthew, he lives about a half hour south from us in Columbus, Indiana.
So you guys are all in Indiana?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
We are.
Okay. That's cool. How big of an area do you guys cover?
Basically the whole state, plus we've been in Kentucky, possibly coming up here. It looks like Michigan.
Oh, wow.
So possibly, I know there's been talks of maybe over in Ohio. So, yeah, really, in the, let's see, right around us, state-wise, Illinois, we're willing to do. So.
Now, how long have you guys been active?
Oh, about...
Gosh, that's a trick question.
Yeah.
Which
2 months and 7 hours?
Yeah, something close like that. The main thing is we all have the actual group itself as a group entity between the four of us has been together for a little over 3 years.
All right.
But then on the other end of it, like I say, me and Todd, we started doing this when we were in our teens and everything, and now we're around that 40 age and above the 40 age with Nick. And like Nick was our neighbor and everything growing up, and so it's like we've been doing this, the three of us together forever before we met Matthew. And then when we met him, we all just kind of gelled and said, and it came up in a discussion, do you guys want to keep doing this and come out as an entity? And we all kind of really just hanging out together, so why not, I guess.
So why not?
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
It's worked so far.
Doesn't mean in an hour after this broadcast there isn't going to be some, backlash.
Yeah, as soon as you hang up, you guys are going to be in a fist fight. It's going to be dirty. I'm going to get some bad emails.
I'm the John of the group, and Matthew, he's Ringo. Just know it.
That's it. I'm out.
Later. You're just lucky they let you play the drums. Now, how do you set up, walk us through, an investigation with you guys? Like, somebody calls you, how do people contact you? Like, what do you do prior to the investigation? How does it work for you guys?
I would say most of the time it's been word of mouth. Wouldn't you guys say?
Pretty much.
We've been a general conversation with people.
Yeah, we've been really lucky that way. Really, it's been kind of being in the right place at the right time. People can contact us by our blog spot, which is www.soupparanormal.blogspot.com, and they can get hold of us that way. Or we just done a paranormal show on Saturday in Columbus, Indiana, a big one down there, and we had a lot of people coming through, and they can pick up our card, which has that, and it has our email address on it, and a lot of it's just people. Then when they find out what we do is, well, I got this going on in my house.
Yeah.
It's always been interesting to me just through general conversation when you, start talking to people. It's like everybody knows somebody, or there's always that location in that town that people always wonder about. And it usually doesn't take much just to kind of, start talking to people, and doors seem to really open for us. So
now, how busy do you stay?
Gosh.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's that thing of it comes in droves. It seems like there's never, where it's spaced out, evenly or anything like that. It's like all of a sudden everybody wants us to do 5 different places at once, and then for about a month or two, wide as quiet can be, and we all just, during that time, kind of here and there talk to each other and, look at what we might need to get for equipment, or, there it is, like this last weekend when we did the show or something like that. We kind of try to keep ourselves together, and we're all great friends with each other outside of this, and that's how it came together, because we're all friends. So it's that thing of we all hang out and do this and that, and then when, we get something, that's when you go into business mode, I guess, and we all start talking about logistics of the places and, and do the pre-interviews. And as you kind of said before, how does, it all set up? It's like both Matthew and Todd said, that you get whether it's a call or, something in from a website, or usually our thing is it's just people bump into us like that. And then from there it goes forward to an interview, we come over and do an interview with them,
Mm-hmm.
and then from the interview, we kind of can figure out, do we really need to do this? Do we need to go through all this, and do we go forward, or are we able to kind of give them a couple of ideas and see if that works and see if they need to get back to us? And
now, when you're making your decision on that, what plays into it?
what plays into it mainly is, for me, is when you have somebody and their general claims are, if they've got an ongoing list of all these claims going on, that's where, I come in when you come in for the interview, you really have to keep your mind and wits about you. And then I'll ask other questions and just see if they're the type of people who might, everything you give them, they keep expounding on it. Like if they hear, just one click in the house, is that all of a sudden a ghost, or is this a ghost? Just you'll ask them, it's like a psychology kind of a game that you have to ask them a couple of other questions and see if they keep on working out on it, and those become bigger and bigger. Then you can start saying, you judge it that way. But mostly, to be honest with you, that with our group, most of the things we do a lot of residential work, but we're majorly hit into, it seems like, doing these big structures for some reason. That's just.
What do you mean, like warehouses?
We've done things of just like, in general, things like that. We've got up for bids. We're coming up a state parks pioneer village that has about 14 buildings over 2 football fields length, I would say.
Wow.
We're also doing, we've done hospitals before that have gone down, just closed, things like that. We have something maybe in the works of that again going on. It's, and then regular just businesses, everyday businesses, also some big, some small. We kind of like those a lot too. It's just, something different in that way. But theaters, old theaters, and we all like it. You hear the word old thrown out a lot here, but we're all just seem to be pretty, just love history also. So just to be inside of some of these great places.
Oh, yeah.
Them turning it over to you for the night, and you're just amazed that these people are, they don't know. Some of them don't know you that well, some do, but they'll just let you into a place and you take over.
I think that was my favorite part when we get into the old prison here in Moundsville.
Oh, really?
I mean, it's like, all right, well, you guys have free reign for the night. It's like, yes.
Jordan, what did you find in that? Do you have some good things from that? Good evidence?
Lola?
Nothing.
Gee, doesn't that sound familiar, guys?
Yeah, it sounds like
we have gotten. I've been there and gotten voices before.
But not when I've been there.
Lola,
I just want to clarify that.
She picks the non-paranormal group to go with whenever she goes in.
It's terrible.
And she's in there, like, please let me have an experience. Please let me have an experience. Please. And nothing all night.
Yep.
Yeah, we have it every once in a while. We've been doing a thing, kind of doing some charity work, and what we'll do is we'll get a place and okay it with them, and we'll do where we'll invite people out with us to use our equipment, go out on a 4 to 5 hour investigation with us. That people, you always run into people. Can I go with you? And I'm like, it's kind of hard to do that in some places. And
see, that's when you rent out a bigger place and sell tickets.
That's it, and that's what we've been doing. We charge them, and all the money that we collect goes to charities, and
good.
And that's what we're kind of, that's what we're kind of doing there. Is you get people that want to come with you, and then they get that experience, and that's kind of like you were talking about with Lola. We get some people and they want to go with you. Then 10 minutes into it, I hope nothing touches me. I really hope nothing touches me.
Well, it was so bad. They have a place down at the Pen that's considered like the most haunted, most paranormal activity happens there. It's called the Sugar Shack. And it was me, Lola, we had Dwayne Claude, who's a demonologist, and we had a couple other people with us. And we sat down there in the middle, in the dark, waiting for something to
for
happen.
A long time.
For an hour.
And nothing.
We got so slap happy it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's usually what happens with us. That's when it starts getting really wrong real fast when you put the four of us in one room together and nothing's happening, it's it's one of those things that let's try to find something else to do.
See, people don't understand how actually how boring paranormal investigations are. Like, I know our EVP section, like, if it's a night where nothing's really going on, like, if you listen to our audio stuff, you hear questions like, who does number 2 work for, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think we could probably play half of our EVPs, right, guys?
No, yeah, a lot of them. I know there's one from when we did Waverly Hills that we'd have to edit out if we put it out there where something happened, and there's some choice words that come up because it startles the heck out of us. When Nick and
even when it's not, startled or anything, I usually end up with a lot of the evidence, and I have to have a heavy editing finger on that thing going, because it's usually during a great conversation over something really gross.
That's always when it happens.
And then that's when the ghost wants to kind of chime in and say, "Hey, this is what I think about it." You get this great EVP, but you got to edit right before and right after, because you don't want to hear that conversation.
Well, you always think it's nobody ever captures any kind of video or paranormal video or anything really good. Nobody ever gets that. But it's not that they never get that. They always just show up in the most inopportune. People are like, no, we didn't take any video. we didn't do that.
That's in general. I think of and it is kind of, but then you have that opposite thing. It kind of happens where one of the cases we did where really nobody was feeling like nothing was going on. You didn't get any heaviness in the place or anything of this, that, and the other. And then you go, there was only one thing. It kind of gave us a couple sparks of interest here and there, and that was about it. Then we go home and listen to recorders and go through video. And it's like there was a carnival going on around us, and we didn't know it.
We did a college once, and we used to get a base reading for like an hour, like in the middle of the investigation. We'd set all of our recorders up, and then make sure everybody was out of the premises for like an hour. Well, we had everything locked up. We had security officer with us, a police officer, and set all the cameras. I mean, we weren't feeling anything the entire night. I mean, we were bored. Like, a couple things kind of jumped out at us, but it was kind of, the usual. And the cop gets a pizza. We're sitting outside for like an hour eating pizza and just chatting. Well, we end up doing, listen to the audio, and it's like an hour straight of like screaming and yelling and doors slamming shut and like water fountains in the bathroom turning off and on and the stall doors opening and closing, and it's like
those throw a fit when you don't offer them pizza.
They were mad. They're like, we didn't want pepperoni.
Exactly.
I'm on a diet.
Well, I have to say, when you were asking about the whole interview process, that's kind of turned into one of my favorite parts of what we do. Just being able to sit down and talk to some of the people that are having concerns about the paranormal. And, especially, I think Craig is really, really great at this, just talking to people. And a lot of times you can really just see by talking to them and sitting down with them and listening to the concerns or maybe offering other explanations, the relief that you can just see a change on their face sometimes.
Just by them talking to you. Just by them talking to you. Yeah, I totally understand.
Everybody thinks, sometimes that we come into these things and, maybe some of these people that have never dealt with this before, they don't watch cable TV shows of this type of nature. They weren't into ghosts when they were kids like, a lot of other people might be. So when something starts happening a little just odd to them or whatever, that some of them, just literally think they're going bonkers. And then when you can kind of, back them up a little bit here and there and tell them, no, that's not it. And, finally somebody believes them, especially also there's, some of those families that, you just don't talk about that type of thing maybe, or, we don't believe in ghosts, so, find another reason for it, or, this or that. It's just that some people just want you to sit down and listen to them. And after that, they seem to, they're, as Matthew just said, the expression on their face has changed quickly.
We don't put a lot of pressure on anybody that we talk to. We're not a high-pressure group. We'd rather develop the relationship and the trust with them. And, we're totally comfortable with going baby steps and just kind of easing into, whatever the next step may be, whether it be just more discussion or, maybe it'll lead to an investigation. It's kind of whatever that person needs and whatever we feel would be best for them or what they could handle or whatever the case, may call for. So
now, if you do find something pretty nasty, do you get them in touch with clergymen?
Yes,
we send Todd over with a beer, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Clergymen are not needed when you have good, wholesome beer, and you can drink away your worries about it, and you can say, "Yep."
Well, it's going to possess and kill you, but here's a Heineken.
It's either that or
have
they
fun,
find,
Todd.
yeah, it's either that or they find out the house next door to them's for sale. We just tell them to move over there.
Oh, nice guys. Nice guys.
People need to be realtors and make some money off this that way.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
No, we do have on call. We have some great numbers of some good people, both clergy, demonologists, and people. Thank goodness. Only before Soup came together, it was about 8 or 10 years ago, did I ever have to deal with anything, of demon aspect, and that, I'm hoping we stay on that path, to be honest. And but yeah, it's that type of thing.
It's always interesting to think about, oh yeah, we're going to get that case, but nobody ever really wants it.
Yeah.
No, and then it's that it's in your back of your head also once you do go through one of those things. And I was just helping out another group that me and Todd used to a lot back in the day. Just people would call us up and ask one of us, hey, can you go along with us on this? We kind of want to, younger groups or something like that, and just have somebody else along that might have a different set on it, and they knew we did it, and there wasn't as many groups way back then. So we would go out and do these things, and I just went to this place and come into a house that just smells of the worst, like outhouse from hell, kind of like some of these guys after they have had pizza at your place. Then you go over there and there's stuff that, if everybody, the group was in there, I showed up a little bit later is when they had me come in, and I come in and there's stuff, just flying around kind of thing, and they're like, Greg, this is good. And I'm like, get the hell out of here, everybody. I'm like, you guys don't know what you're dealing with. Get out. I mean, I literally only stepped in about 2-3 feet into the thing, got them all out of there, and just started making calls. And they thought it was one thing. I'm like, nah, it doesn't work. You've been watching Poltergeist too long. It doesn't work that way.
It's not going to play with you.
No.
So tell us about that case.
That case, it was just a house that was kind of in the it's just beyond the burbs and going into the rural. And the guy just had me. Another group just asked me, that they really wanted to get a second mind. They kind of started and been around only less than a year, and they're still getting their feet under them, and that's great. And I was always hey, it's fun. So, if I had the time off, I'd go do it. Well, and that's where, like I say, I came in. They told me to come over at a certain time, and they got there a little bit earlier to set up all their equipment, and I only had a little bit of stuff. Well, they got over there, and I guess, action was happening from the get-go. They stood around and thought it was amazing, and I, like I say, I came up on the scene, and they, even those guys were all in the room squinting their eyes from the smell, all the other stuff. And I'm
it's
like,
really not funny, but it's funny.
Exactly. It's just like that. That's the thing to come back to me is their faces. I'm looking at them, just shaking my head. No, this is not normal. Kind of a thing. Get out. Kind of that thing of you guys need to get out. You're not going to be able to help them, and neither am I. It doesn't matter. After all these years that we've done this, there's no way we can.
What if their house just stunk?
Well, if it was that, the desk that I saw flying across the room, maybe it had, nasal passages and really needed to go. I don't know. But it was that type of thing that the house, there had about 4 or 5 of them was in their team. And I just didn't understand why they didn't know they could get out.
Craig, is that the one where you got scratched?
I didn't get scratched at that one. The one I got scratched at was that's probably about 6 years ago or something. I was at a place with some friends and I was just with some friends. We weren't really doing a big investigation or anything. Had one of those things you just go about, and a friend of theirs said they had a place that had some stuff, and we went, and and it was another one of those nights that really you didn't think much was going on or whatever, and then all of a sudden just real heavy feeling and all that, and then on a back like on my left shoulder blade or whatever, it just felt warm. And later on, when I checked it and everything, I had a nice scratch on there, and I knew I wasn't against anything or whatever. Like I say, we were just hanging out at the place, and
Wow.
And that wasn't even an old, dilapidated place. It was anybody's house, USA, right now, and that's pretty much what was going on.
See, nothing like that ever. And I live in a house that's well over 100 years old, and so I had a friend of mine come in, and I'm hoping she's going to tell me, oh, yes, there's a spirit upstairs, and there's a... Yeah, right. She just goes, oh, nice house. And it's like, oh, okay.
Lola probably lives in the gateway to hell, and nobody, like, her friend just didn't even want to tell her.
Yeah, that's
and she's sitting there,
it.
she can't see the forest for the trees, Her,
Yeah.
her cat's flying across the room. Why doesn't anything happen to me?
I keep blaming it on the zoo, It's like,
Exactly. That's where you're saying, never mind that pit with bodies in the backyard,
Lola, I've been a long time listener to the show, and I just have to, I have to say, maybe it's all those years of rooting for the Detroit Lions that have ran them all off.
Oh, that was not nice.
No, I'm just teasing you.
My time is coming. Our time is coming.
Yes, it is. They got a real good team. We're now feeling it here in Indianapolis with the whole rebuild. So.
Yes, people in glass houses should not throw stones.
Thanks a lot.
I'm not rooting for the Lions. I'm rooting for you, Lola.
Okay.
Yeah, we see how it is to lose a team real quick, like in days. So.
Well, see, when you're a Detroit Lions fan, you learn humility and how to be humble. And so consequently, when you have a year like we had last year, it's phenomenally exciting. That's why I drove all the way to New Orleans for that playoff game, because it could be a once-in-a-lifetime occurrence.
I have a feeling you guys will do real well coming up. So.
Wow, thank you. And I'm sure, knowing Indy, you guys will bounce back. I couldn't quite understand this past season. And then when you were playing for luck, it was like, okay, I get that,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know sports. The Red Wings are good.
You can see I'd stayed out of that conversation too, George. Yeah.
I just backed away from the microphone and let him go. We do got a question from the chat room. New York Lily, what type of ghosts have they come across? Mist, full bodies apparitions, shadow beings, or other?
All the above.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, well, share with the class.
I work in a haunted hair salon, and one morning I just came into work and saw a full-blown mist figure on the cutting floor. And that was the first time I know I visibly saw something manifest in front of me. Of course, I instantly thought that when I just came in the morning and I turned on all the power that something was hot, until the thing started to move and shift and got thinner and thinner and shot across the room. That was pretty interesting. But that wasn't on, one of our investigations, though we have investigated that space. But we've seen a little bit of everything, haven't we, guys?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It had to be all of the above because
we kind of got a little bit of video on it, a bunch of those, of shadow thing. We got a couple of mists. And we do definitely have one of, if fog forms up, makes a hand and taps the guy on the back and comes down. It's a great one. But
where's this? You didn't send this video to me.
Which one did I send? I sent one from the shadow one that comes up from behind the couch.
Yeah, I saw a shadow.
That one. Yeah, that's the shadow, and then it goes to the other camera. Thank God that was plugged in camera, else it probably would have zapped and took all of its energy out, but it recovered, so that was good on that part. But,
yeah, you have the video over there on that flash drive, Lola. You want to check it out while they're chit-chatting.
Is it the Norman residence?
Yeah, it is it.
Okay.
And there's the one where we got a bunch of the EVPs, and that was actually the case, that we thought that, nothing was going on. Then you'll see all that stuff I send to you. And, we were covering the place pretty well. And the only thing it alerted us was when we saw me and Todd were downstairs and Nick and Matthew were out investigating, they had this house was a very large house that had 3 floors to it.
Yeah.
So me and Todd sequestered ourselves. Whoever wasn't investigating was down in the basement. We had a little room down there they gave us, and we were able to sit on couches down there, and we had the DVR. We have a 8-channel DVR that has both audio and video on each line. So we were able to see on the triplex, and we were just talking to the owner down there. He just came in from Workwire, and he was down there talking with us, and we saw one of the channels. We thought something hit our camera and moved it or did something. All of a sudden, we saw that camera all of a sudden move. Me and Todd we just watched our eyes, so we went up there and looked at it and got up there. It might have moved just a little bit if it did, but when I played back the video, I was like, that is odd, this power thing. So I started looking around on the other channels, and then that's where I caught that shadow take off from behind the couch.
That's neat. It's so lucky to have a DVR system. That's so. It takes so much work out of it.
Yeah, we're.
That's one thing I always wish we had was some kind of DVR system because we were just carrying around camcorders.
Mm-hmm. Camcorders are good, but you get tired of changing out tape and. And luckily, there's digital ones, but luckily, from a tech standpoint, we have found that the digital 8s and the high 8s have 10 times better looking resolution than the digital, so to speak. I don't know why, but we get real good looking footage from those. So.
I think that, and I think, when you're doing them with a tape in them is when it seems like you're getting the best of both worlds with that kind of a thing. Because of a lot of digital, and even digital video, it seems like I see, unless it is through, kind of like how we have with our DVR for some reason, with a lot of the handhelds and all that, it's real choppy.
Yeah.
And it seems like that the colors or whatever, the grayscale must be something totally crazy on there because you only get black and white, and there isn't too much gray in between. I've seen on a lot. The ones that we've gotten, it also gave our IR on there better distance. Also on those high 8 digitals, they gave a little bit, and we found that on a couple things. So we kind of went to them over the old ones, even though we still kept all of our old ones for static cams in smaller places where it doesn't really. That doesn't really matter because you're in a smaller room or whatever, and you can cover it.
Joe Montaldo in the chat room just said his camera has a built-in 80-gig hard drive, and it plugs right into his computer.
Hey,
lucky.
There it is. There it is. Yeah, if you can afford that, that's great. And everything, on our end, we have a ton of equipment. I admit, we have between all of us, it's a king's ransom of that. But we just found, a lot of times. That, and a couple of people have come to us and asked us, how did you get this? And where'd you get this? And all that. The Internet really does provide very well of a lot of stuff that you just don't need. Would it be nice to get a thermal camera or something like that? Yes. But, I don't, for one that's going to be able to do video and do all the other stuff, do I really have $5,000 to go around for something that...
And that's cheap.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you're doing this, if you're doing it every weekend, and everything, I understand, but to buy something for $5,000 that, you're just waiting for a mission and it's staring you in the face, I'd be frustrated. I just couldn't do that.
You'd be out in every graveyard there is.
I'd be walking around for the fire department. Yeah, I'll check all the hot spots you need. Give me $50.
Yeah.
I'd be probably a stalker. Yeah, it'd be bad.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize they sit there and they see them on the TV shows, them using them. And they don't realize that the TV shows have bought them for them,
Oh, yeah, I think the one Taps uses is like an $18,000 camera.
Yeah, on half the stuff they got, like, the truck that they have and all this is like, okay, let's get realistic about this. These guys are getting paid to do this. We're not getting paid to do this. We do this for free. So, there's the whole thing of, for $5,000, we could went out and bought a car for $5,000 that we could have souped up or something.
Could have been your soup wagon.
It could have been the soup wagon. Hey guys, that's a good idea.
Right? You just give me credits on the bottom.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Jordan. Yeah, Jordan. Thanks for the soup wagon. Yeah, big bowl of soup on top of the wagon. Yeah, smoking. Yeah, that'd be great.
That's where we got the thing that Nick came up with the soup thing. Is we we don't really have the whole thing of where everybody has a matching T-shirt. We're just not that type of people. But if they have if we got T-shirts or whatever made for with our emblem and all that on that for kids, we'd have a cup of soup.
That's funny. I'd buy
so
that.
We are the group that does have very popular at a couple of shows we went to. I have a thing of doing this thing with take a little sandwich baggie and fill it up with marshmallows, and then this paper, and I staple them to the top of this paper over the top, and it has on the one back side of it has our emblem and tells them who we are and also our email address. On the front part, it says ghost poop. Undeniable proof of the paranormal going on.
Ghost poop.
Ghost poop.
That's
That'd
funny.
be like Robert Peltz. That's pretty interesting. But every time we have them at a show, everybody just picks them up like crazy.
Yeah, bad. That's funny. That's a good
Those
idea.
are marshmallows?
Well, yeah, 'cause
Well, some people were
tasty
eating them
poop.
right afterwards at this last one, and I was a little disturbed by that. But, I
poo.
did say that where I put these marshmallows in this thing, that it's, the most cleanest facility. People are very trusting is what I find, I guess. I don't know. I don't think the FDA was leaning over me while I was putting this operation together,
When you're bagging your ghost poop.
You better be careful. They could be listening now, and you're going to be subpoenaed tomorrow,
Yeah.
And that's where I said the same thing that, and somebody next to me at that show and everything. So what happens if you leave it in the car? Is it ghost diarrhea? Hey, they're very good.
Well, it just turns into ghost soup, right?
Yeah, see, Jordan, we're going to keep you around forever so you can do this stuff around
Right?
us. Mary.
I am the king of cheesy stuff.
Well, that's where we need you. Well, but your ideas, you're the marketing genius now.
I am a Renaissance man.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do you guys have T-shirts, or do you not do that?
We got T-shirts on right now.
So you don't have group T-shirts?
No, we've talked about it.
It's about getting to that point where we're going to have certain things, and everybody kind of, I don't know, the T-shirts, maybe not, that kind of a thing. Everybody in our group pretty much hoodies or something like that with the thing on the back might be the way to go or whatever. But the shirts,
All right, well, when you get those made, let me know. I want one.
you got it.
We will send you one.
All right, can we listen to some of these EVP while we got some time left? I think we got like 15 minutes left.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, which one do you want first?
Oh, gosh, I got to remember one.
All right, well, here's what you sent. CC, undisclosed business.
That one is that is a now defunct business. So that was one of actually from our very first case.
Okay, you want to hear it?
Sure.
All right. Now just bear with this computer because it's been giving me fits for a week. And, of course...
More fits? Poor computer.
Just talk amongst yourselves.
Well, let's talk
Hey,
about...
Matthew, just for all of them, we're just going to have Matthew reenact each of the DVDs. Is what we're going to do from here.
Okay.
He's doing a good job.
Yeah.
I'm awesome.
Doesn't it sound authentic? Here, we'll listen to it again. Maybe. All right, here it comes.
Okay, what you heard on that was at the beginning the first part was edited out of somebody saying, can you make a sound like this? And that knocks on the wall.
Okay.
And then it goes for a few seconds. Then you hear that voice, that weird voice on the back end of it.
Yeah, what would you say that's saying?
And what I pretty much came up with, it says something like they made it beforehand or something like that. I'm not sure, like we always say, with EVPs, you never really have it, unless it's a Class A and somebody just says something that really, but it just kind of sounds like they made it beforehand. That's kind of what it says. But, or anybody can chime in on it, believe me.
It was weird that it was that close. I mean, it's not whispering, but it's pretty close to the mic.
Yeah,
and
something flipped the mic at 1.2 on that one that we got on the other camera. Something flipped that mic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I always thought it said those guys have big foreheads.
That's what I thought it said. But all right, what's our next one?
Okay, this one is Corey. Corey.
Oh, this is a great one. Yeah. There's a little backstory on this one if you want to know ahead of time. This is a restaurant up in Angola, Indiana, which is up by the Michigan border. And it's a restaurant called The Hatchery. And we were called in. Craig used to deliver to these people. He used to deliver alcohol and wines to different businesses. And these people were telling him about, goings on this place. And it's a real old place. It's been with several things. And the family lives in converted the upstairs to like a living quarters. And the restaurant's downstairs. And they kept having all kinds of crazy stuff going on where plates would fly off and they'd see shadows, and pots would be just even in the middle of dinner service, pots and pans would start clanging. And well, we went up and we had some things happen. It was a little quieter one here and there. We had some things happen, and Craig just happened to catch this on his audio.
Okay, here it is.
Whispering behind you guys?
Yeah, kind of whispering behind as you hear the name Corey.
And the deal was, Todd was talking on the video. It was actually a part of a video is what it was, on one of the audios on the cameras.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I thought that was the audio.
That's why you got a little bit of buzz there from the from a little bit of that DVR audio. Some of those cameras are never, amazing. But what happened was it talks over the top of it, and it says Corey. And the way it said or whatever, so when I came back up there, I drove back up there to do the reveal, and they had everybody in the restaurant or whatever there for the reveal, and I was like, okay, this is impending. So we played back everything for them, and they were really interested. And then when I played that for them, the wife, the owner and his wife, they both kind of went real pale, and their jaws dropped, and had me play it back a couple times. And they said, that's how my dad used to say my mom's name, and they're both passed. And I was like, really? And her name's Corey.
Wow.
And they went and got their son, who was upstairs. Like they said, that building was 3 stories high in downtown Angola, and both of the buildings on both sides of that, the big brick buildings, both burned down over time. And that building had been everything from a firehouse to a garage to a dance studio to all this different stuff. So they went upstairs and got him and brought him down, played it for him, and he said, Grandpa, because that's the way his grandpa used to say his wife's name, I guess.
Wow. I'm going to play it again. Just maybe.
Corey.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's that's definitely like a Class A. I mean, it's more and obvious. We had some people, we were at our booth that we had set up this weekend at the Paranormal show, and we had quite a few other paranormal groups kind of freaking out about that. That and some of the video we had.
That's neat.
Okay, here's the next one. It says Whisper.
If I'm right, it's at the... does it have an NOR in front of it by chance?
Yeah.
Okay, this is where we're going to the place where I said the shadow you saw behind. This is us going to now the Norman residence, that big house and everything, the residential.
Okay, here it is. It's only a second long, so listen close. Oh, I heard it.
Yeah, that one is. That's why I put that. Nothing really did anything before or after in that little location on that one. And that once again was off of a camera. So.
Wow. Okay. Now here's the next one. It's I guess the Norman, and this is Yes.
Your name wouldn't have to be Betsy, would it?
Ooh, I heard that too. I heard the S real clear.
Play it again.
Okay, here it is.
Your name wouldn't have to be Betsy, would it?
Did you hear it?
Yeah.
We had a thing from research or whatever about a Betsy, and we usually like to do a lot of our research on the end of a thing, but it came up in the interview, and so we knew something of a Betsy because, there's too many groups that go around there, and they know somebody died in that place, so that's all they do is go around all night yelling that person's name, and, all these other spirits are sitting there, well, they haven't called our name, so we're just going to sit here silently and let you go around like an idiot. And then when you get, and that's why we like to do a lot of that, and then it comes back on the ends of it, just like with the Corey thing, that it comes back on the end of it, and everything corroborates, and that's awesome.
Well, see, that's what I always think anyway. If you know so much about a place in specific rooms or events that have taken place, I think sometimes you're anticipating that. And so that's what you're looking for, and that's what you're hearing when you hear something.
Exactly.
And I think that's what you're wishing for.
Yeah.
Well, and there it is. That you're wishing for all the, you're pretty much trying to live up to legends of places and things by that time that something happened in this room, so we got to go to that room, and that's where it's going to be and all that. It's like, no, look at the place as a whole. Don't put all your focus into one thing. Give everything the same amount of time to every place because you do not know, anything of that. And that's where we also don't really listen to too much things of a lot of other groups where they've gotten, stuff and all that because it could change over time. You just never know.
I don't know why people think that a ghost is just going to stay in one room and they're never going to do anything else but go, just say the certain words, and I don't know.
Yeah, we don't even talk amongst ourselves during an investigation. We'll have, maybe 2 or 3 different groups, and we'll go out, we'll make our rounds, and we won't even disclose any experiences we might have that particular night with each other until everything's said and done, and then bring everything together to see how it all lays out.
Wow.
And I think that's a smart way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're pretty much more of a scientific group that way.
Say that again.
We're pretty much more of a scientific
group. A good thing, unless it's a raccoon that night that keeps messing with everybody. We've had a couple instances with raccoons.
We just did Waverly Hills Sanitarium back in March and setting up equipment. This is the second time around we've done Waverly Hills, and we were setting up equipment and get the cameras up and going, and then we flipped the switch on one of the DVR cameras, and there was a pair of eyes staring back at us, a raccoon inside the building looking at us, and Craig and them found him a Red Bull to chug later on.
No. He brought that into frame. This could be a commercial. Seriously. He comes into frame with it between his 2 front paws, comes right into camera view, perfect center, and takes his head back and chugs the little can, sits down, and goes off. And they came back, and later on, he left it there. So when the other groups comes up on it, we're just in there dying laughing, 2 floors up. They come up on it, and they're like, oh, my God, where'd this can come from? We just tell them for a long time.
That's you. See, you should take that clip and send it into Red Bull and just be like, "Hey, I got what you need."
I need some more guys. And the poor guy who poured over 30 hours of audio really thought he hit a gold mine. And we had to totally break his heart and tell him, dude, that was a raccoon.
Yeah, poor Bill.
That's where we don't usually go to a lot of the places that are like that. That was, we went to Waverly a couple times just because, it's kind of like one of those meccas in the States that we don't look at it as some people would say, well, that was one of our cases. I'm like, that isn't a case. That's, you pay to go to it and everything. We don't usually do the pay to go do anything. You got cases, and then you have stuff that everybody, just because you're in that field, it's interesting to you and it's fun,
Yeah.
So that was one of them.
It's a test, too, and with the experience that we've had over the past few years and as, I would say, as prepared as we became over the years just through, all the different cases that we've done. I mean, it's really kind of cool to see how equipped you are to tackle something that big. So I think it's a good exercise to do occasionally, really.
Oh, definitely. I agree with you on that one. That's, to tackle and that's kind of where we started making our thing and doing a lot of bigger structures was.
Well, it's definitely it gives you a good workout on how to handle those bigger structures. Now, outside, how do you guys handle outside? Because I've never been able to do anything good. You just can't contain anything enough.
No, and there it is. You have a lot of things that you don't know of. There it is, the animals, bugs, the whole bit of that you've got to deal with, unless, what time of year did you do it, which is a great idea, so you can cut down on the bugs and a lot of the animals being out and about. But, it becomes with the outdoors ones, where is this supposedly taking place, the phenomenon, and then from there, you really need something with really good IR on it. And
you'd have to cancel out EVP altogether.
Yeah, we pretty much do. Yeah, you pretty much, unless something comes up there to the camera and just talks to it, that's the only way you're going to do it. And even then, of course, like you're saying, how far away are the neighbors and people like that you know or whatever, that there aren't any people around. So, yeah.
Even though we did catch one real good, this was real early on with just Craig and I goofing around, just kind of had one of our recorders on us in a Crown Hill Cemetery here in Indianapolis, which is, a national cemetery.
Uh-huh.
And we were just goofing around, and we'd heard claims that there's a mass children's grave in Crown Hill Cemetery.
Wow.
And, we had heard that there was people have caught stuff before, so we decided we'd try it out. So each of us had our digital recorders on us that day and decided to try it, and lo and behold, Craig caught one on his. I was only, maybe 15 feet away from you.
Exactly. You're on one side of it. There's a monument in the middle, and what it is was during the 20s, Indiana and Indianapolis in general was a crossroads of where the railroad tracks and all that. And during the Depression, there's a lot of orphans and different children. And the orphanages weren't on the coach wire, so they would kind of pull them all in here into the middle of America, where there was a lot of different orphanages and industry still going on. And what happened was it wasn't found until later on by a student at a college. He was going over all this material, whatever, and they wondered why in that cemetery. And this cemetery is humongous. It's where John Dillinger's buried. There's a lot of stars buried in this thing. And it's like I say, it's ginormous. But the thing was, this one spot that was over there was a woman's home for elderly women where is like a dormitory for them, and they have this whole section for all these that passed there. And in front of there's a 60 by 60 foot space that nobody would have buried anybody at, and they said they couldn't. So, and they didn't know why. So they went through records and all this, and they found out it was a mass grave of 400 orphans are in that grave from the different ones from that time. Because they find out things of children that had, back then they used to take formaldehyde and pasteurize milk with it. They thought that was fine back then. So things like that even went on.
Wow, that's horrible.
Yeah,
but we did catch up.
Way to end the show on a downer.
Yeah.
Well, here's the list for you. We caught a little boy, and he was humming to us. He said, "Are you there? Are you there?" And he just started humming.
Really?
So, yeah. So there's the Disney ending right there.
Okay. That's good.
With a little dead kid humming.
Then we saw fireworks, and then we saw balloons.
Yeah, there we go. And a clown came out juggling.
Music,
The bird landed on my shoulder. It was creepy.
What's funny about that is right across over the hill, the gentleman that played Uncle Remus in Song of the South is buried on the other side of the hill there. So we could have seen a bluebird, I guess.
Oh, geez Louise.
I know it. Well,
Right,
it's time.
We're out of time, fellas. We're a little over. Thank you very much. Soup Paranormal, or Society of Unknown Phenomena. Do you say Soup Paranormal?
No, we just say soup.
Soup. The Men of Soup. Should be a calendar. Right? There's another one. Give us your website again.
Marketing genius, I say.
Give us the website again.
That would be, you don't even put the www, I don't even think, in front the way it is. It's HTTP with a backslash and all that. soupparanormal.blog.com.
That's blogspot.com.
Blogspot, we don't even know our own website.
soupparanormal.blogspot.com.
That's
Yeah,
right.
follow us on Twitter.
And you can find us on Facebook also.
Facebook and Twitter. What's your Twitter handle?
Soup Paranormal.
Soup Paranormal. Hey, we got a Whispers Radio. You should like us or friend us.
We do, actually. I was tweeting at you earlier.
Oh, yeah? I don't even have my password. I have like 500 followers, and I don't know the password. I'd love to get on there and say random stuff. It'd be fun.
That's what I do. We give that to Matthew to take care of. I have no clue on our Twitter thing, but I don't have new feeds every day on my thing, and I don't even know how to get into it.
I'm going to have to hack it. All right, everybody. Craig, Tom, and Matt from Soup.
Thank you so much.
A lot of fun, guys. Thanks for getting up with me, and we'll talk again.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye. All right, that is all the time we got. Until next week, everybody, don't be afraid, only believe.